Okay, we are up. We are live. Today is Friday, September 10th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I haven't done one of these in a while, so bear with me. Well, I do my live classes, but I haven't done a Facebook Live thing in a while. So, mystery class. I didn't get much response from the polls. So, we'll do a little bit of everything for a little while anyway. The scorpion's kind of antsy today, so I don't know. He's been kind of antsy. I don't know what his deal is. So, we're just gonna kind of let him be. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been eating. I don't know what his deal is. So we're just gonna let him be. I have the tarantulas out. I have the cave roaches. I have the hissers up here. This one I have to clean out. And then I have my other stuff. So there are classes next week coming up. There are Facebook Live that I'm charging for. I'm gonna try to charge for. So one of them is to Conquer Your Fear class, and that is with tarantulas, roaches, you know, I have the millipedes. Usually, you know, because it's Halloween time, usually stuff that that people don't like and that they associate with Halloween and stuff. So I try to do that class during Halloween. I have been getting a lot of hits for the spider classes online. Not so much for the roaches, but a lot of people are interested in tarantula classes. So that's always cool. So we'll start with a little bit of, I guess we'll do bug anatomy. That's usually how I start with my classes. Again, all of my classes are totally interactive. I usually ask all the questions to see what my audience knows, and then we go from there. All right, so we start with our bug. It's going to be our lightning bug, right? I know I need to get a better model, but this is going to be what we're going to use. I'm more familiar with Zoom. I'm not sure if this has I don't think there's a whiteboard or anything on here, but anyway, I usually draw it out, but we're going to use Mr. Lightning Bug. So, classic insect has a classic body plan. You're going to have 3 body parts: your head, your thorax, and your abdomen, which is the part of the lightning bug that's going to glow. All right, your 6 legs are going to be attached to the middle body part, which is going to be the thorax, all right, and your wings, okay. I think Punk ate the antenna off, so you're going to have 2 antennae on your insect, all right. When we go to our spider, spiders are a little bit different. They're a little bit of an older group of arthropods. Usually go into what arthropods are and stuff, but for here, we're just going to call this the abdomen, okay? And mind where your legs are. A lot of people draw the legs on the abdomen. That you're going to get a tick. All right, this is a spider. So your spider's legs, okay, are going to be, you know, on this part. And this part is going to be a combination of the head and the thorax because there's only 2 body parts, all right? 2 body parts in our spider. So this is going to be called a cephalothorax, okay? Cephalo meaning head, thorax is the middle body part, head, thorax, combination, okay? Some of them, the really big guys, the old world tarantulas, have a little bit of a waist, okay? We're just going to ignore that, all right? This one has her spinnerets, all right? And you're really going to see them on the pink toe and on the curly hair here. Curly hair likes to have a trip line. Not a trip line, but I guess a safety line. So when I pick that one up, there's usually a safety line attached to me. All right, so you might be able to see that. So you have your spinnerets. We have our pedipalps. So the pedipalps are going to be these things on a scorpion, all right? They're claws. Claws on a lobster, claws on a crab, pedipalps, universal in the arthropods. So these are the pedipalps. Your bigger spiders are going to use them as another pair of walking legs, okay? And you're going to have your chelicerae right here, otherwise known as your fangs, okay? But the chelicerae spiders are chelicerates. Kind of makes sense. All right, so those are your body parts. We do have, not sure where it is. We often get some confusion with our daddy long legs. As long as you're not in like Africa and you're in the United States, a daddy long legs is not a spider. Not a spider. Why? It's got 8 legs, right? Well, if I could find the picture, your daddy long legs have one body part, okay? They do not have that second body part. Exactly, they don't have the second body part, but they have the 8 legs, all right? So that kind of makes them not a spider. They're in their own group, all right? So I cannot find the picture right now. It's in one of my class folders since I have so many classes now. Oh, it might be in this one. It is. Here we go. My tarantula defense class, because sometimes this comes up. All right, this is a picture of a daddy long legs, one body part, and you can see the 8 legs attached to the one body part, okay? Oh, but they're the most venomous, but they can't bite because their fangs are too small. No, false. Okay, so this is what we also cover in the Conquer Your Fear type class, okay? It's a daddy long legs. It's harmless. It eats dead stuff. It doesn't need to have venom. All right, there's no venom. The chunkier ones with the shorter legs, these are called harvestmen. These are the ones you're going to find, like, sometimes they're under rocks and stuff or logs. The ones with the longer legs you're going to find, you know, crawling up stuff in the garage. So the chunkier ones are harvestmen. They're also a type of daddy long legs. You have the one body part with the 8 legs attached. You don't need venom to kill dead stuff. You don't have venom, you're not going to be venomous. So daddy long legs is not venomous. But in the United States, we call them daddy long legs, but there is a daddy long leg spider in, I believe, South Africa. All right, but we're only talking about native stuff here. All right, so that's your spiders and stuff. We can see how the curly hair is. This one actually got out and was MIA for a while, and somehow she came back. So we have some nice webbage, if that's a word, going on. This one did have a tunnel, but because she was gone for a couple weeks, I gave her larger enclosure to the striped knee that I have, because that's a big tarantula. So that one's in the other room. She's in the other room. So this one got smaller accommodations now. Well, she's doing pretty good. Been eating and stuff. So this is our curly hair. All right. And we do go over tarantula defenses in my one class. I do have another class that just goes over spider venom. And then I have the other class that is Conquer Your Fear. So we talk about the different behaviors and stuff. Stuff that you're going to be, freaked out about. The movements like that. What do those, the legs up in the air mean? Does it bite? Can it bite? Is it going to hurt? Do they sting? Do the hairs flick off? Stuff like that. So we cover all of that type of stuff. This one, she's very dramatic. All right, very, very dramatic. And I do have a little bit of a reaction to the hairs. Okay, so I haven't been handling them a whole lot because I do get pretty itchy when I handle these guys. Oh, hi. So yeah, it's usually the pink toe that I get rashy with when I handle her. So I haven't been handling these a whole lot. But this is the curly hair. This one's, you know, as I said, she was MIA for about 2 weeks. And then I ended up finding her. She was in another part of the room visiting the turtles. So she has her smaller accommodations now. But this is her now. And she's back to eating. She did molt again when I found her. So she wasn't eating for a while. And then she molted, which is what normally happens. You don't want to eat right before you molt. So this one's still growing. And yeah, they have the hair, so you can see. And yeah, they do irritate, at least they irritate me, which is what they're supposed to do. But again, we go more into that with the other classes I have. Oh, you're okay. Trying to make another run for it here. All right, we're going to put this one down. So we'll just look at the molts real quick. Because they're still pretty cool. Again, my in-person classes, this is what we start off with. We start off with bug t-shirts or spider t-shirts. This is what I call them. You outgrow your shirts, you outgrow your t-shirts, and you get another t-shirt. The same with our spiders, the same with our other arthropods and stuff. They outgrow their skins. Okay. And this one is, oh, here we go. So you can kind of see, it might be hard to see. I might have to get the pink toe molt. Let me get this right here. Can't really see it. All right, let's get the pink toe. The pink toe is just thriving, and this one just keeps growing. So this is the pink toe molt. And it still feels hairy. You know, it's probably going to irritate me still. But you can really see the pink toes. It's kind of cute. And you can really see the fangs. Again, they're called the chelicerae, but you can really see the fangs. You see them? So even on the molt, they're pretty evident, and I think that's cool. Again, a lot of questions. Oh, yeah, is it going to bite? What we say in the zookeeping world, does it have a mouth? Yes. Can it bite? Probably. Yeah, right? I mean, even on the molts, you can really see how big they are. So with your tarantulas, you generally worry about the bite, not the venom itself. Because you can see how big the spiders, you can see how big the chelicerae are. And I think it would hurt. Okay? And again, with my tarantula class, we go into the different old world versus new world defenses and stuff. But when I used to be a keeper at Liberty Science Center, back in the day when they used to have the whole top wing was all animals, you had the freshwater stuff on the one side, and then on the other side you had, my favorite job, next to Fossil Rim. Oh, my battery's going already. I was in charge of the snakes. I was in charge of the the amphibians, frogs, toads, you know, everything. And they had spiders, we had scorpions, we had a ton of roaches. But we had some of those bird eaters, and they were in like these, you know, big hexagonal tanks. And I would barely get that door open to throw a cricket in, and that thing was flicking its hairs off right away. I wasn't even in the enclosure, and that thing was flicking. So some of them are more have more of a temper. They're less patient. Mine are pretty good. My pink toe's really weird though. She is she does a lot more than a typical tarantula would do. This one, she's a bit jumpy. You saw her kind of being real dramatic about her legs, like, you know, not so much like a warning, like, dude, I'm gonna bite you. Just, you know, what's going on stuff. This one, I'm gonna take her out. Yeah, she's just kind of weird. But I've had her for, I don't know, two years. She's been doing pretty well. We're gonna see if she can turn around. This one's also pretty dramatic. Are you gonna come up? She has her tunnel, so if she's in that tunnel, I really can't get at her. Where are you going, kiddo? But yeah, she's, what do you want to do? we're hunkered down in there. So she's down, yeah, you see how she's like way down in there? She likes to, we'll say, excrete on me, and then she'll jump. So that's her defense. You know, I've never had one of these kind of do the poop and run, but she does, but she doesn't flick. Okay, so it's a little bit different. And she also does this with her pedipalps. She'll hit my hand. That's kind of a warning too, but she's never turned around to bite me or anything like that. So she's pretty good with the warnings, but you know, she's a little weird. All right, but she's, you know, 2-3 years old, at least when I've had her. So she could be, I think she was almost, well, she's still molting too, so she might have been a year or so. I don't do well with the real little ones. I lose them. They don't do well. So I usually get the older ones. They just do better for me. I'm just, you know. So that's our pink toe. These are not native. You don't have to worry about these. Texas, you guys have the brown tarantula, Oklahoma and stuff. You know, they're the size of the curly hair. They're not real big. They're a brown tarantula. You know, not that brown is boring, but they're not a pink toe. And they're not, you know, a cobalt blue or something like that. Those are really cool, which I'm happy with what I have here. I have 3. So I'm happy with that. We're going to bring out one of my favorite roaches. And let's see. Yeah, no, we used to keep them, the baboons, I think we kept them in a smaller, they weren't on display, they were in smaller, the shoebox type things. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's that new world stuff going, or the old world stuff going on. The old world, they're very temperamental. They have no patience. They just, yeah. So they're pretty quick. And I think we had those. You know, those were just on the shelf specimens that we had. They were, I believe, in, you know, just a shoebox type of enclosure, and that was just real quick snap, throw in the cricket, and that's it. I don't even remember if I used tongs. And then the real bad stuff was under lock and key, and that was mostly the fat-tailed scorpions. I didn't deal with them because I was an intern. But I worked there like 3-4 days a week for almost a year until they closed the place down. But anyway, but yeah, those are pretty quick. The baboon ones. Again, they don't really flick, so their first defense is going to be to bite. Yeah. Yeah. But these are one of my favorite roaches. The ones that I'm used to are a lot bigger than this. These are not real big, even though this is going to be your largest roach. These are your cave roaches. They do have that smell going on, though, so there are a couple different species that are similar, so this might be the other species instead of the giant one. But these are pretty neat. These are what are going to freak people out because they have wings, and that one just kind of flew, which you're not supposed to fly. So yeah, so these are usually the ones that scare people. But we don't have these in the U.S., all right? You don't have to worry about them getting that big. And they don't really fly. This one kind of just hopped. These are, oh, look at you again hopping. Look at that. I've never had one hop before. Ooh, what are you doing, hon? These are going to be on trees and stuff. So, they might be jumping from tree to tree, I guess. Maybe they can hitch a ride with the wind, but there's not a whole lot of flying going on. Okay. And these are doing, I have like 100 of these. These just keep having babies, and the babies keep growing. I have these in 3 separate containers I have like a nursery. I have like the adults in one because you can't really crowd them. They don't do well in crowded conditions. So the adults are in one. Then I have like a little baby nursery one. And then I have ones that are still, I guess we'll say nymphs, juveniles and stuff. So they're in another area, but they love, like when I feed them, because I put their food on a tray, these guys love applesauce. They come like cattle, like at the feeding trough. So we're gonna try to do, I'm gonna see how this works. So yeah, sometimes I do applesauce if I'm lazy. Because these don't really like a whole lot of greens. The hissers will pretty much eat anything I give them. Yep, see? We love our applesauce. See, love the applesauce. Oh, you hear that scratching? They love the applesauce. Yeah, this is what, you know how you rattle a container of food to attract the goats, to have the goats come in? I just put this stuff out and they all come from the hiding underneath stuff. They love their applesauce. We're going to see if we can get... There's that one. Can't really balance it. But yeah, applesauce. Who knew? Alright, so we're going to put this one back. Whoop, there you go. And these smell, they have a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not pungent. It's just kind of, just an unpleasant smell. I don't know how you would, yeah. I don't know how you would describe it. And then these, there's so many of these too. I gotta do something about the sides because the babies keep falling out. Yeah, I have a ton of these too. These are in a couple different, well, I just changed our container too, but I gotta probably give these all baths because they have mites all over. I mean, mites are okay, but I kind of, see, everyone likes the applesauce. But these guys will eat anything. I give them salad. They like their lettuce. They like their applesauce too. So if I need to change the containers out, or, you know, cleaner containers, I usually use applesauce, and that's how I get most of them out of the container. They love their applesauce. You can hear all the scurrying. Oh, now that I picked it up, you can't. Yeah, they're all scurrying on the bottom. You can kind of hear it. So we usually use these to handle because they're not fast. And again, I keep the molds. I keep the t-shirts. So I have a ton of t-shirts. We usually start with a t-shirt in the person's hand if we're doing this class in person so that they can check the skin out. They can even, you know, break it, rip it, just so that, you know, examine it. I have a whole bunch of them because I have so many. And then once they're ready, they can see, they can handle one of the bigger ones. Even the little kids are pretty good with these. I've had a couple go flying, but thankfully it was on grass. So yeah, we just, you know, try to get the calmer ones that just chill. Usually the younger ones are kind of a bit quicker. The older ones aren't as fast. But this is a female. And then sometimes the males are a little bit rowdy too, because, you know, that's kind of what they do. So we have this one's a boy. 10%, we got to be quick. I didn't bring the battery charger. But this is our boy, and we go over how you can tell. All right, and this is, again, the applesauce. I'm going to feed everyone. You can see he's got some cleaner mites on him. All right, we go over spiracles. We go over, again, the body parts. These guys do not have wings. They're not going to be flying around. Not native. These are your ones from Madagascar. They're going to be underneath leaf litter, kind of why they look like dead leaves, have the color of dead leaves. So yeah, this is, you know, the stuff that I'll do live for the Conquer Your Fear class. I have the Conquer Your Fear class next week, and that one I do on Outschool, and I also have it on Facebook Live scheduled for next week also. We're just going to put this one back. And you can see they do climb. They climb the glass, so there's a lot up here. Do they get out? Of course they get out. Do I always find them? Usually that they're hanging out like over here or in another container, but it's usually just the babies that get out. Don't tell anyone. So yeah, that's most of the stuff. My other popular class that I do is the turtle class. I do have live turtles in the other room. This is the bug room. The turtle room has, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 species of turtles and 1 tortoise, alive ones. So we go over that. We go over body parts using real body parts. Kids always think they're fake. Ain't no fake stuff here. Everything is real. So we, you know, go over that type of stuff. Turtles versus tortoises. Again, that's a very popular class that I have on Outschool. I'll probably do that one as a Facebook Live also. And then I have my Name That Vor class is going to be, again, these are all real skulls. We don't use no fake stuff here. I do have one fake skull. The armadillo skull is fake. All right, and that, again, is for my armadillo, aardvark, and anteater class that I do online. Yeah, sometimes you get kids that are interested in aardvark, so we cover all 3. And I was a keeper and took care of all 3. Yes, I had to think about that. So yeah, we go over the teeth, flat or sharp, and then we go over the eye placement, eyes on the side, stuff like that. We have plenty of antlers to go around. All right, lots of antlers. We have some horns. I have a horns and antlers class, and we also go over the differences between horns and antlers in that Name That Vor class also. And then we do have some mystery skulls to throw out there. I know Kurt knows what this is. This is an easy one for him, easy one for Texas. But for us people in New Jersey and the East Coast, we're not quite sure what this is because we don't have them roaming around outside as a huge feral population. But this is always a cool one to bring out. We do bring out the mystery skulls. And used to have fun with the dads that would try to figure out what these were. So yeah, so we go over the classic herbivore, omnivore, carnivore, and then bring out some mystery ones that might confuse you. You have to use what you learn. So that's always a fun class. I've done that in person and on Outschool also. And then my other classes, the other one that's popular is Things That Sting. Okay. And that's exactly what it is. It's stingers. I mostly do bees, wasps, with Coyote Peterson messing everything up. I have to do a lot of corrective teaching, we'll say. And it's been difficult. It's now a very tough class to teach because half the kids, 75% of the kids want me to sting myself with the scorpion. Because that is what someone else does, and that's all he does. I only do native species to the U.S., and I talk about the European honeybees, why they're here, how they got here, kind of. And then we briefly talk about the murder hornets, but usually the kids just want to talk about pain index. So that class is used to be my favorite class. But now we just talk about these things. and pain indexes and sting yourself, you know. So it's, you know, kind of, that's why I've had to get these guys. This is your bullet ant, which is huge. they're huge. And then we have our murder hornet. Ooh, ooh. You know, we have that. Although, I mean, these things are pretty big. Your cicada killers, they're huge. But they're awesome. Harmless, awesome. And that's my photo. I'm very happy with this photo. So yeah, I have a ton of classes. I'm on Outschool, where I do most of the classes. I'll do them in person. I'll do them on Facebook. I'll do them on Zoom. We also have a rat tights class where we go over emu and ostrich eggs. This is real, not fake. No fake stuff here. Okay. Why do I have all this stuff? I used to be a zookeeper. I collect stuff. I guess I know where to look. So yeah, everything I have is mostly real. I mean, I do use stuffed animals. But pretty much everything, you know, everything is real. I use real bones and stuff. We have a raccoon in a bag, you know, because it's more fun, right? If you have real stuff to use in class. I'm trying to see what else I have on my other stuff here. I have a cheetah class. Again, of course, I don't have any real cheetahs, but we do go over, you know, how they run so fast, the conservation status. I do have a rhino class that we talk about conservation. Kurt, what do we think this is if you're still here? Is this a white or is this a black rhino? Kind of looks like both. Here's the mouth. All right, kind of looks like both, but you know, so I use the different stuffed animals in the class. It helps give a visual. Since it is online, it is virtual. It's not in person, so it is a little bit more difficult. And it's easier than having me talk the whole time, lecture, to see images and stuff. So yeah, I have a ton of classes on Outschool. I'm always posting a link so you can look at that. Again, next week I have the 2 classes that are on Facebook Live. The Conquer Your Fear, again, that's with the tarantulas that you just saw. I might bring out the striped knee. We'll see how that one, she burrows. So she's in a burrow. These guys, they're arboreal kind of, although this one, I don't know what the curly hair is up to. Scorpion, we'll go over that, and we go over the roaches also, and anything else, you know, that there is a fear, because I used to have a phobia of snakes, so I kind of use that, although I used to be a snake keeper, go figure. So I kind of use that as a learning experience and how to teach the class and, you know, understand why people have that fear. For me, it was a behavior thing. And then my other class is Name That For, and that's just skulls and teeth. Again, I used the real skulls. I usually use Neo or General, one of the cats. Sometimes Darcy comes in, the dog, to go over teeth. And to see, you know, how they eat also, because they do eat a little bit different. If you have molars as compared to just canines, you're gonna, you know, be moving the food in your mouth a little bit differently. So we do go over that. So yeah, so please check out the website. I'm working on Instagram. I'm doing TikToks. I'm going to be putting more stuff on YouTube. Get that channel up and going. And there's an Instagram page that I'm working on, and I have the regular website. So I'm trying to do all this stuff, and it's hard technology-wise. So Facebook is probably the one that's going to be updated the most, because it's the easiest for me. All right, so all the classes I usually post there. The schedule is up for the next, at least I think 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks for Outschool. You can also request classes. My schedule's pretty open. You can always request a certain class. You can make that class private, or I can make that class private if you have your own school group, scout group, whatever group. It could be private. And then I do some classes at night, and that's usually for people in Asia. I get a lot of people in Asia usually China, that want to do the turtle class all hours of the night. So I'll do that also. I have a couple zookeeper classes. And I have the clubs, the zookeeper clubs, the zookeeper chat. That's for the younger ones. That's Tuesdays. I have an older kid one. That's also going to be Tuesdays. And then I have another class that's not science related. And we talk about the 90s. Go figure. That's Wednesdays. And that, I had a blast with that class. That class is so much fun. So these are ongoing clubs, meets weekly. And then I'm probably going to get another class going on zookeeper problems, because if you're a zookeeper, there's always something going on. So I'm going to be working on that class as well. But yeah, so if you guys want a class, birthday parties, we're here for that. These guys come out. Most of them are no touch, just because they're fragile. I can't have a kid dropping a tarantula. You know, that's $150 if you drop the tarantula. So they're really off, you know, no touch, but you can play with the molts all you want. I have tons of molts. This one's a popular one. Everyone wants to keep this one and scare people with. So I have the stuffed animals, but the tarantulas are no touch. I have the millipedes, which kind of tricky. I've never had a reaction with these. I've had the Texas millipedes I've had horrible reactions with, but then again, I seem to be allergic to everything. And then we have the roaches. So just the hissers are going to be okay to handle, and maybe to touch some of the other ones, because the other ones are kind of quick and they have wings, and sometimes they really scare people. So yeah, birthday parties I'll come out for, and as well as scout classes. I do have a brownie bug badge. That's a 2-day class on Outschool. I can also do that on Facebook, and I can also do that live, which I've done, and that's usually just a 2-hour class for kids to get their bug badge. Where they're, we talk about bugs. I bring these guys out. We draw bugs, talk about the body parts, make a bug house. And we're probably going to use the iNaturalist app. iSeek is the other app. That one is less intrusive. But yeah, so I do all that. If there's ideas for classes that you guys want, just let me know. We will come up with something. Animals in Motion is another fun class I do. I also have that as a camp, and that's I have the 5 senses class, but it's I think I do 5 different types of locomotion. One for each day. So in the one class, it's kind of condensed. I also have a mimicry class that I love that no one's taken yet. It's kind of like an upper level class, but that's on mimicry. What came first, the Viceroy or the Monarch? It's always a fun class. But no takers yet. I need some high school students for that one. So yeah, please check out the Outschool, my profile. All the classes are listed there. The schedule, which looks confusing online, that's my schedule, that I schedule those classes. If you have another class that you want me to teach, I could pencil it in, no problem. Just request it. And I think that's it before my phone dies. So I think we're going to try to do free class Fridays. I think we're going to start doing that again, as long as I have openings in the schedule. So I'm going to give these guys the applesauce and salad. I have to feed the turtles in the other room and a tortoise. So that's it. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week. If you have any comments or questions, just put them here. And give me some topics for next week so I can talk about that. All right. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Bye.